Welcome to the Coast to Coast podcast, brought to you by Play Picks and the Lines, coming to you from the West Coast. Josh Lander, joined by my guy Nate Weitzer on the East Coast. And we have a one-game slate here tonight on Thursday after a Big 12 gamer on the Wednesday night. Obviously, March Madness is starting this Thursday night for y'all, so fewer NBA games, but we do have a couple other videos up for you today, including a look at the MVP odds and Defensive Player of the Year odds, and then another one with some conference, basically some team futures in terms of division, conference, Eastern, etc. Some of the specials we get on DK and FD. So make sure you check that one out as well. Like and subscribe there. And as always, if you do still need a FanDuel or DraftKings account, head to fdpicks.com or dkpicks.com to find those listings in your area, such as Detroit and Orlando tonight. Nate, let's get into it.
Yeah, Detroit opened at +4, and the spread is shrinking now to +2.5. Total being bet up a little bit from 217 to 219. I think mainly because it's the only game on the slate, and people like to bet the over more than they like to bet the under. But I was all ready to take Detroit here as a better team when they're at full strength. But then Cade Cunningham is looking like he might miss a second straight game with an illness, and their numbers are ghastly without him. They've lost 14 of their last 15 with a 100 offensive rating and -14 net rating, scoring just 101 in those games. They've gone under in 6 of their last 7. With Cade playing some of those games, they've dropped to 28th in pace, 24th in offensive rating. Orlando completely shut them down on January 28th. Their starters, Cade included, posted a -66 as a cumulative unit. And on the season, the Pistons are 7-28 on the road with a 103 offensive rating. Much, much better lately, but that's because Cade Cunningham has been turning it on with 22 points per game, 6 assists per game over his last 11. But where the Pistons had a really impressive stretch going 10-2 against the spread in their last 12 there. Magic have really been doing the same kind of thing to turn it around with their young guys. They're 5-5 straight up, but 7-3 against the spread in their last 10. And they were leading the NBA in defensive rating out of the All-Star break before they got the Wolves, Sixers, and the Kyrie Irvings on 3 straight games. And that, caused them to give up 125 points per game against those elite teams. They still beat the Wolves, which is a really surprising win when you look at how good the Wolves are with the best. They're 10-2 with the best offensive rating since the break. Yep. So Magic, Mo Bamba, Wendell Carter Jr., they combined for 47 and 22 to beat contain Cat and those Wolves. Now they go up against a Pistons team that's playing Marvin Bagley at 4 and just got Isaiah Stewart back, but he is not having a great year. The Magic are allowing the 10th in the top 10 in terms of paint points allowed at home and over their last 3 games, despite facing, Embiid, Cat, and the freaking Nets. So, and they've also been very good down the stretch in clutch time, especially at home, a 95 defensive rating in the clutch. So what I'm looking at here, if Cade Cunningham is out, is a Magic and under parlay. The under is hit in 6 straight wins for this team. So they do it on the defensive end. They're obviously not going to win many shootouts. They tried that ramping up the pace thing. It did not work so well. So they have slowed it down a bit. Detroit is slowing it way down and just frankly not scoring without their guy. Plus Hamidou Diallo and Frank Jackson have been ruled out. So there's just not a lot of playmaking for Detroit if Cade can't go.
I mean, I kind of like Orlando, even if Cade plays, but I probably wouldn't feel comfortable betting it at this point just because of how good Cade has been and how much better they are with Cade. I mean, honestly, everything you just said also, the way that they lose without Cade Cunningham, I know Detroit's one of the worst teams in the league. The Cavs are going to make the playoffs. Evan Mobley's probably going to win Defensive Player of the Year. He's got by far the shortest odds there to do so.
Rookie of the
year. But either way, he should win some awards. But the point is, Cade. The vote for Cade, right? And the story, the narrative here for him is he's the best player. leader. I mean, he's the one who controls the offense. He's the best player on a bad team, granted, but he's not only the best player. I mean, he's like a 19-year-old veteran point guard. I mean, he runs the offense. You really got to watch some of those games and what he's able to do, the way that he just moves and is in control of this game and the pace. Things are slow for him, like he's 28, not 19. So I think I just really wish he was getting a lot more nod. He just really started off the season. He didn't get to play during the preseason at all. He didn't work out during training camp with his team. He didn't play the first roughly month of the season, and then he came in. He took a little while to get it, and he picked it up and just ran with it. And after the first month of the season, after he got his legs under him, he's by far and away the best rookie in the league. So that's my case for Cade. I'll move on to say why if he plays tonight, I'm not going to touch this game. If he doesn't play tonight, as even and it seems like he's not likely to do so with that illness being still lingering, then I really like Orlando all over the place. And I know, like you said, they were playing at a faster pace, but I think they're going to go back down a bit. And Detroit playing at that third slowest pace. I mean, both these teams are averaging about 107.5 points since the All-Star break, and that's not very good, right? That brings you to about 215, keeps you under that 219, 220 total that it's currently at. So I think if Cade doesn't play, I feel pretty strongly about the Orlando under and win there as well. I mean, you look at what they've done against teams that are not above 500 since the All-Star break. They're 4-1, and that one loss was on a weird back-to-back with the Pacers, who came out and shot like 50% from three on the beginning of March here to go over 230 total. But other than that, we're talking about a bunch of unders, especially that against teams that are not named Brooklyn, 76ers, or Timberwolves, by the way, even though they did go under the T-Wolves. So I think there's some impressive wins for Orlando in a way that they have turned things around. And Mo Bamba and Wendell Carter have found something, especially Wendell Carter since the All-Star break is someone that, averaging about 18 points a game, up 4 on the season, getting back to about 9 boards a game as well. And so there's some things to like about the future for Wendell there, which he's always had a nice future, but he's finally coming into shape with some guys around him like Cole and Franz Wagner, obviously, and the way that they're playing as well. I think they're just a better team at this point. And if you don't have Cade tonight, you have pretty much nothing on the offensive side of the ball for Detroit. And then I really, really love that under as well as Orlando to win.
Yeah, I mean, and the team total for Detroit is 108.5. If Cade is out, you certainly would feel fine about the under there. They've failed to hit that while losing 4 straight here. Just to address the rookie of the year conversation, it's an efficiency thing for Cade, though. Like his offensive rating is 95. He's shooting 40% from the floor. He's averaging 3.5 turnovers. Scotty Barnes has a 115 offensive rating. He is fit into a winning team. And Evan Mobley, much bigger impact on both ends, and his offensive rating up at 108. He just dropped 30 points. It's not like he's a non-factor. So it's not just the fact that he's on one of the worst teams in the league for Cade. He started slowly, and he still hasn't kind of figured out how to be an efficient leader for his team. I think even if he plays tonight and is in any way less than full strength, we like Orlando. You mentioned those guys, plus Markelle Fultz just coming back, playing very well off the bench. But they have so much size and athleticism with Mo Bamba and WCJ, if you will, combining as twin towers down there, that Detroit, which is not a good 3-point shooting team at all, is going to have a tough time finding points here on the road. And Orlando just they have handled business against bad teams, plus that win against the Wolves, very impressive. The one time they failed to beat the Pistons this season, they scored 92 and shot 33% from the floor in Detroit. So it's hard to expect a shootout when you get two bad teams together like this. I think the under is the preferred bet, despite the fact that people are betting the over because there's nothing else to bet on.
Please keep doing so. And just to be clear, I'm pleading with voters about Cade Cunningham. I don't think he's going to win it. I don't think it's worth sprinkling anything on anybody on that one because you're still getting about such bad odds for Evan Mobley. But I would just say if you're a basketball nerd watching any of these Cavs Pistons games, which I understand are not exactly like must see TV, but if you are watching, you realize that the Cavs are setting up Evan Mobley to be successful by not making. He doesn't have to handle the ball on offense, obviously, as a big man. Even on defense, he doesn't have to be the primary, stopper with Jared Allen standing behind him, as he's able to sort of fluctuate a bit more around. And then Cade Cunningham is the point guard on his team, and those turnovers at 3 or so is actually super impressive considering he's getting more than 6 assists a game. And he's a rookie that, Russell Westbrook gets 4.5 turnovers a game, and he's a veteran. So just for context there. But either way, it's not worth it. I just love Cade a lot, and I think he's very, very deserving and still won't get it. So that is all the time we have for you in this one. Not a ton to talk about in a Magic Pistons 1-game slate tonight, but I think there's some value for sure if you're looking to make some money on it to take that under and take the Magic there. So make sure to like and subscribe to that page. You can check out the other couple videos we told you about as well, the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year odds, as well as those team futures. And until we see you next, happy betting.